Have you ever been disrespected in public, ignored like you didn't exist, and had no way to retaliate? Until fate handed you the perfect opportunity? This story is about one arrogant jerk, a game of billiards, and the sweetest justice you can imagine delivered legally, perfectly, and with zero risk. Before we get into it, hit like if you've ever wanted karma to bite someone who was rude or disrespectful. Comment your own petty revenge story below, and subscribe for stories where cleverness and patience triumph over arrogance. Asterisk, this happened about 20 years ago. My friends and I had a favorite spot, a small billiards place in a neighboring town. It wasn't fancy, just tables, TV screens showing sports, and a friendly vibe. We'd spend hours playing, chatting, laughing. No drama, no hassle, until the guy showed up. It was about 3 months into our routine visits. We had our table, our corner of the world, and then suddenly he walked in. A man with an air of arrogance, so thick you could almost taste it. He moved to our table and sat down like he owned it. No big deal, we thought. But 20 minutes later, we politely let him know we wanted the next game. He waved us off, dismissive, snubbed us. The classic jerk move. And my blood started to boil. Asterisk. Visual cue. Slow pan across a smoky billiard hall, balls clacking, murmurs from other patrons. Tense music creeping in. Another player, a woman waiting for the next turn, tried to speak up. Ignored. He smirked, walked around like the king of the room. That's when I realized this wasn't just rudeness. This was an intentional provocation. Asterisk. Eventually, the guy left the table. Finally, our turn. We put quarters in the machine. Balls dispensed, except the green 6 ball. He had taken it to the bathroom, probably as some juvenile joke. We called the manager. He sighed. It's almost last call. Don't want a scene. So he gave us a replacement ball. But the guy came back, smirking, cigarette in hand, beer in the other, green ball clutched like a trophy. He tossed it on the table, knocking balls everywhere, ruining our game. My friends were outraged. I was seething. Disrespect had reached a tipping point. This was no longer just a minor irritation. This was personal. And in that moment I realized karma could be arranged. Asterisk. Visual cue. Shaky close-up of green billiard ball rolling across table, scattered balls clacking, tense close-ups of friends' frustrated faces. Asterisk. One friend jokingly suggested, "What if we call the cops?" And suddenly it clicked. We didn't know where he lived exactly, but he was leaving soon. 3 of us agreed. Armed with push-to-talk Nextel phones, we coordinated. Plate number, car make and model, color, and reports of erratic driving. We weren't going for DWI, just giving authorities a heads up. The goal was simple: ensure public safety and let his arrogance catch up to him. Our time window was tight, maybe 15 minutes, but adrenaline was pumping. We were meticulous, calling in a rapid-fire sequence, our fingers dancing across the buttons with precision. Asterisk. Visual cue. Close-ups of phones, hands typing, GPS tracking, street lights flickering as the car moves through darkened roads. Meanwhile, our 4th friend tailed him. From my office chair, I could feel the tension. This was no longer a game of billiards. It was a test of patience, precision, and justice. Asterisk. Within minutes, red and blue lights flashed behind the car. My friend called us, giddy with disbelief. They've pulled him over. We had no idea if it would stick, but it did. The police discovered the guy was driving on a suspended license. Arrested, cuffed, embarrassed beyond measure. Not for the petty disrespect at the table, not for the stolen ball, but for his arrogance and disregard for rules. And as we watched, a wave of satisfaction washed over us. The guy who thought he could ignore people, disrupt their fun, and walk away unscathed was stopped cold by the law. Asterisk. Visual cue. Patrol car lights, the suspect's stunned face, friends exchanging victorious high fives, soft victorious music. There's something deeply cathartic about justice served with minimal effort, but maximum impact. No violence, no confrontation. Just patience, coordination, and smart action. Asterisk. We could have ignored him, walked away, called it a day. But his arrogance, his smirking, his dismissiveness had crossed the line. There's a fine line between harmless rudeness and blatant disrespect. He pushed past it, and in pushing, he invited consequences. Watching the police take action, we felt a mix of triumph and relief. Not because we wanted to ruin someone's life, but because fairness had been restored. The jerk wasn't above the rules. He wasn't untouchable, and it was beautiful. Asterisk. Visual cue. Slow montage of billiard hall emptying. The green ball left behind on the table. Friends laughing quietly over drinks. Internal monologue. Sometimes it's not about revenge. It's about balance. And sometimes the universe lets you arrange it in perfect harmony. Asterisk. By the time the week's police blotter came out, there it was, arrested for driving on a suspended license. Not DWI. Not something we fabricated. Just the natural consequences of arrogance, stupidity, and blatant disregard for others. The billiards hall returned to normal, our table reclaimed, the green ball back in play. And every time we shared the story, we laughed, not at the guy, but at the poetic symmetry of it all. Justice doesn't always need drama. Sometimes it's quiet, precise, and utterly satisfying. Asterisk. Visual cue. Close-up of a newspaper blotter. The headline visible, friends clinking beer glasses, serene lighting. Rudeness, arrogance, and entitlement often go unchecked until someone steps up. This story reminds us, patience, smart action, and timing can achieve justice in ways that anger alone never could. And sometimes the world does it for you, if you just arrange the pieces. If you love this story of clever, real-world karma, hit that like button. Share your own petty revenge stories in the comments, and subscribe for more tales where patience, planning, and a little ingenuity delivers sweet justice.